So today, we're using a newly buffed skill, Heavy Drinking. It now has an 80% increased speed with each distinct potion you add to your backpack, making this skill a ton of fun to play right now. And we're using it to power up a Berserker build today by giving us block, heals, and even mana too. But hey, will it get us to round 18? Let's find out. Okay, let's go into some ranked games with a Berserker and try out the new nerfed utility badge. It now gives 5.5 seconds of battle rage instead of 6 seconds, which is quite significant. Now we do start off with a set of blueberries, shiny shell, and a wooden buckler on sale. Which ones are we going to want to grab here? Well, unfortunately, we do have to grab ourselves a frying pan. It's our only weapon. Let's grab a set of blueberries. Let's grab this too. I'm not going to grab the shield. Actually, I'm going to grab the shield as we roll. And I'm going to grab ourselves this garlic. But I'm going to grab the stone. I'm going to roll again. And unfortunately, I was kind of hoping to find a whetstone with a wooden sword and potentially go for a hero sword, which we didn't find either. But this is going to be round 1. And we should have actually placed our stone in. That would be smart, because that would actually be chip damage here on our opponent. Now, we do get a battle rage, but with a frying pan being at 2.86 seconds, we actually can't get 2 hits of this during our battle rage if it does hit at the very start of battle rage, which is quite significant here. We do end up falling short, unfortunately. Now, speaking of awesome, let's grab you. Let's grab this too, and our whetstone. And with that, I'm going to move on with this for now. Prioritizing our banana between our 2 food items so we get that a little bit faster, but holy moly, that's going to be a lot of damage with triple swords here. We are going to run out of stamina pretty fast, but they might take us out before they actually run out of stamina. However, during our battle rage, we do get some lifesteal, and just barely keeps us alive here. Which is kind of nuts. Now, I'm going to forego the frying pan since we got ourselves a spear. That should be awesome for us. I don't exactly want any of these items, so I'm going to roll again. And we could try to go for a hero longsword here. I'm going to take it for now because we could also try to go for a katana. Bag of stones is also awesome too. I also want a storage so we can actually place in our wooden buckler, but I also want more coal as well. So we'll grab our extra stone. I'm going to reserve the bag of stones with the leather bag, and I'm going to move on with this for now. This should be pretty good. Now, I did prioritize the whetstone on our spear, even though it is going to be a little bit slower than a hero sword. Maybe we actually do want that, but that's going to shred armor since it does have 1 star slot free as well, which is going to be nice. But a spear dealing about 13 damage per hit, 13 being the maximum, is kind of nuts here, especially when we're going to begin one single wooden sword. Now, they have tons of value with their food items, a lot more max life than us, but they have no damage whatsoever. So it's looking really, really, really awesome for us. Now, unfortunately for us, we did get a tiny bit of luck, but hey, not too bad. We still managed to win out. Now, we do have a chasing mech, and I kind of want to take heavy drinking here, but with no potions. Do we actually take it? I'm not sure if we do want to. Spicy banana, I do like as well. You know what? Heavy drinking has been buffed quite a bit. Even though I'm going to say spicy banana is the right pick here, I'm going to take heavy drinking. I'm going to try to make it work. I'm going to grab a storage. Let's grab our bag stones, which does mean I kind of want to grab this healing herb. So we're going to say goodbye to our shield. Let's grab this for now. I'm going to flip our whole inventory upside down so we can have this set up like so. Now, there's no point having our heavy drinking in right now since we've no health pot. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to have to move on with this for now. We do want to keep our slow open just in case we come across some armor. We should have a lot of damage with our whole setup right now, especially on our stones too. Should be awesome. We are going to begin a magic staff with a chili goober. They're going to get lots of heat, but not too much durability. The chili goober does provide some heals, but is enough to really stop us here. Definitely not. Now, the repeater here is insane. We could actually take this and grab a crazy absurd amount of block. Like, literally grab an absurd amount of block. But I'm just going to grab our gloves here. I'm not going to take it. I'm going to roll. And I'm going to grab this bit of storage. I'm going to grab another lump of coal. I'm going to roll again. And we do get our health pot, which I do need to grab this round as well. What are we going to sell? I'm going to sell 1 lump of coal with a shiny shell so I can craft this up. Now, we could also go for a freaking big old mana pop, which I don't actually want to do here. But I think I'm going to forego the spear's shredding of armor here so we can get an increased speed on it with a banana. And I'm going to move on with this for now. We could also went for a hero longsword, but I think I'd actually rather go for Falcon Blade here. Yeah, I want to go for a Falcon Blade because I'm thinking about going for an Anvil type setup. Wait, can we deal with this opponent who is crafting up a Hero Longsword? And they do have a shovel for even more greediness. Now, they did end up taking a skill, which does give him a lot more max life and more base stamina regen, but hell yeah. Now, if we did craft up that freaking mana pot, we could have actually crafted up a magic staff here. I'm gonna grab this though. Okay, Amity Wiles, he is kind of nuts here. He's definitely nuts. I'm not gonna craft this up, I'm gonna roll. And I'm gonna grab ourselves another freaking lump of coal. I'm gonna roll again. That's an armor on sale for 4, as well as a fanny pack. Now we could also grab this rogue potion. Well, I'm not gonna take it. So with the Amity Wiles and with the heavy drinking, strong health pot, I really want to go for some Hunger Blades, Blood Thorns, which should be awesome. Falcon Blade, Blood Thorn, Anvil. Seems like a hell of a lot of fun. Now we could have actually went for Spike Staff with that too. We should be in a pretty good spot, especially with the Amity Wiles. Stacking up our spikes. We have the same amount of spikes as a spike shield, which is going to be nice. We got tons of heals, we got tons of regen. That's not looking too bad. However, can we still keep up? Definitely can. It wasn't even close actually. Let's grab you. Let's grab you too. We could grab our Stone Badger, stopping us from finding spike collars, cheeses, and axes. But I'm gonna roll. I think we have to grab this bit of storage, unfortunately. But it's gonna make it a lot more difficult to actually find ourselves that Falcon Blade. I'm actually gonna change the setup around to be this side, so we can get our armor, craft up into a Dragon Scale armor. That should be awesome now. I almost want to do it next round, because if I'm going for an anvil, we do need to craft up an item so we can get 1 heat, so then we can craft up all these burning coals as well. Wait, can we keep up with a turn up with a spiked shield as well, especially with enchanted weapons? They're actually stacking up quite a bit of spikes here. But can we actually keep up? Because we got tons and tons of regen. You know, heavy drinking is actually looking kind of insane being at this speed for right now. And not too bad. We do got a life back. And it really wants us to go for Wolf Emblem here, but again, I'm going to take that anvil. Which means I want to grab the box of riches, I want to grab this potion belt too, and I want to roll. I'll be back in a second when I start your inventory for now. So unfortunately, think about running it this way. So we only have 3 craft items, which is not so great, but once we start getting some gemstones, yeah, it's going to be crafted up then. But I'm going to be using our gloves and our fanny pack to increase the speed of our heavy drinking as fast as possible, because that's going to be one of our win cons here. Every 4.5 seconds, gain 24 heals and 3 regen. That seems pretty darn awesome. Our opponent is going to be dealing quite a bit of damage with their setup. They're going to be inflicting a ton of debuffs, but we do cleanse a lot of that poison, which is going to be awesome. However, that's a massive damage, and unfortunately, yeah, it's just going to be too much here. Unfortunately. Now the thing is, we did get ourselves a turn up here, which I'm kind of down for. We also have to grab this because that's going to be a crafted item. I'm thinking about selling our spear here so we can grab ourselves this stamina sack as well. And are we going to go for a chin up here? We could go for a chin up. We could also go for a flame up as well. But I'm going to craft up chin up. That way we do have our whetstone. We can potentially grab ourselves a katana. Now the question is, do we want to craft up a mana pot here? You know what? The answer is going to be yeah. It's going to be stacking max life for us. And we could potentially add in some crowns as well. But once we craft up this chin up, we should be able to start crafting up our burning coals, and then we're going to have max value on our anvil as well. But this turn up should be dealing quite a bit of damage actually, since we're going to have a lot of spikes. So it should actually be a massive damage increase for us. Now unfortunately, with the Ribstone Blade, they do remove a lot of our damage, unfortunately. They got tons of regen themselves. They're also rocking heavy drinking. But they do also have, they're basically our build except just a little bit better. Yeah. Unfortunately, we're doing a full short. But hey, we got our chin up and we got ourselves by the Holy Light. And what I'm talking about by the Holy Light is, it's going to make our chin up attack a lot faster. Hell yeah. Let's grab this chipped topaz. We're going to roll. We definitely need to grab this so we actually remove some buffs from opponents. I will be grabbing the fanny pack too. I'm going to roll again. And we could also just get rid of our hero sword here. We're just one away from grabbing ourselves a Falcon Blade, but I think actually taking this Hunger Blade makes a lot more sense for us right now. So we're going to sell this. We're going to grab it. It's not a crafted weapon anymore, which is going to be super unfortunate, but it is what it is. We definitely want to craft this up. We're going to sell this gemstone. And we do need to keep this in the Lamented. I'm going to grab this bit of storage, and I want to grab ourselves another burning coal here potentially. But hey, let's keep moving for now. So with the chain up, we do remove a lot of buffs from opponent, which is going to be really, really awesome. It's not going to use up as much stamina. By the Holy Light, it's going to be moving a lot faster. So it should be awesome, and I could potentially grab ourselves a second chain up is here as well. Wait, can we keep up with this Frostbite Burning Blade type builds? Maybe. It's a lot of coal stacked up on us, and unfortunately, we definitely cannot. Coal stacking is going to be pretty rough for us, not going to lie. But hey, we got our mana pot. Let's grab our storage. Let's grab another coal. We could grab this for more. We could grab this for more regen first. We could also grab the Artifact Stone Debt as well, if we want some crit chance. It's kind of crazy. Should we actually take it? I mean, we could try to take it. Place it in, but it's going to be really, really slow where it is. But it's going to be some scaling crit chance for us, which is going to be nice. Now, hey, I'm going to continue roll. We don't exactly want any of these. Actually, I do want to cap. Yeah, for sure. I definitely want to cap. But I think we kind of have to roll on with this for now. We should have almost max value on our Anvil, which is going to be awesome. We're going to still have our Whetstone. We're just going to have our Artifact Stone Dead, so we have the potential to start scaling up our crits. And we're going to take our cap, and we're going to craft up a certain amount of burning coals, which is going to help us with coal stacking builds for now as well. Our potion situation is going to be stacking up our mana. It's going to be stacking up our max life. It's going to be giving us regen so we can stack up our vampirism as well. But we'll see. Can we take on this cheesy banana Excalibur? Potentially. Because we're going to be moving a lot of the buffs. So this chain up is going to have a lot of scaling damage. But is it still going to be enough? You know what? Hell yeah, it is. Awesome. Now that's a lot of freaking burning coals, which is kind of amazing. I'm gonna grab a storage. Let's grab our cap. Lightsaber on sale is kind of crazy not to take, which I'm not going to. And there's a glowing crown if you want it. Glowing crown with heavy drinking, since we're gonna be stacking up so much max life, so much mana. I mean, he's probably gonna be worth it here. Now I actually think I'm gonna situate this freaking fanny pack up top, which is gonna be a little less than ideal, to be quite honest. But I think it's gonna have to be here for now because we do need to add in as much value around our anvil as possible. But I'm also going to grab this tiny bit more heals. I'm going to sell 2 flames here. And I'm going to grab ourselves another set of blueberries. But yeah, let's keep going for now. We should be in a pretty good darn spot here. Although we are going to begin a freaking snake with a fancy rapier and stone shoes. With a lot of pets. They're going to have a lot of max life. They're going to have lots and lots of block, but as long as we can keep removing their buffs, we should be in a good spot. Removing their heats, removing their luck. As long as we keep removing their luck, they can't scale up their damage. And it's going to be scaling up our damage. And you know what? We're getting some big crits actually. And just barely outpacing his opponents. Now there's that katana. Which, yeah, we're going to have to do. Chain up katana. Awesome. I did kind of want to go for a flammable katana, but that's not for today. We do need to find ourselves as much amethyst as possible as well, so we have even more chances of removing buffs as well, but it's super unfortunate. I'm going to take our stone, and I'm just going to move straight on. Getting our glowing crown in the next round, it's going to have to be. Now we are going to begin our repeater with the frozen flame. That's actually nuts. After 10 seconds, if we don't beat them down in 10 seconds, they're going to get an insane amount more block. Conflict a lot more cold as well. So we could be in big trouble. Can we actually keep up? Because that's a lot of coal stacked up. Unfortunately, the coal stacking is going to be the roughest we got right now. But that fatigue is starting to kick in. We do have 72% crit chance, but it's not going to be enough, unfortunately. Coal stacking literally outpacing us altogether. Now let's grab this. Let's grab our glowing crown. We could craft up a king's crown, but I actually prefer to keep it this way for now so we can grab ourselves some chipped amethysts. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to roll. Don't exactly want any of these items, so I'm going to keep rolling for now. And I do want to grab ourselves a corrupted crystal as well. I also want the flame. Got flame up on the brain. I definitely want the eye lamp as well. But I'm going to sell this and all this stuff. Because I do want to grab this to inflict a little more fatigue damage. Scaling up our crit chance a little bit faster. I'm also going to want to reserve the leather bag, but I'm going to have to move on for now. Actually, I do want to place that in so we get a little bit more lifesteal for ourselves. And yeah, I'm going to move on with this for now. So with the katana, we also remove some scaling damage as well. So it's going to be really, really nice. And I would have also liked to grab ourselves a sun shield with that katana as well. But can we actually keep up with this cold stacking build once again? And it's looking a hell of a lot better. That's for sure. And awesome. Let's grab our storage. Let's grab our eye lamp. I'm going to roll. I'm going to grab his fanny pack. Don't exactly want anything else. I'm going to keep rolling for now. Again, keep rolling. Another crown. Another freaking mana pot. Another thing is, I kind of like our setup the way we have it. Having as much speed on our katana as fast as possible because it's going to be moving a lot of scaling damage. We also have our artifact stone debt not inside our utility pouch, so we can scale up our fatigue a little bit faster as well. So I'm thinking about selling this. Crafting up another freaking burning coal. Sell this again. Can't grab a glowing crown, so there's no point keeping it for right now. Do want to add in as much heat as possible. And I do want to craft up another mana pot here. But yeah, I'm going to move on once again. This should be super fantastic. Heavy drinking, triggering every 3 seconds. Now we are going to begin an insane amounts of healing reduction. But I'm hoping that we can get some max life with our freaking mana pot. Now that's, yeah, literally, there's no healing on our side. But we don't need healing. I'm kind of awesome. We only had a 40% crit chance, but it was still enough to take our opponent. Now as for damage, we do end up with a 48 DPS, which is not terribly bad at this point in the game. It's definitely going to be better. As our opponent, they only had a 30 heal. They only had a 30 DPS. As for heals, we have no healing because of our opponent, and we have very, very little block. But I think we can actually continue on with this round. Now I do want to grab another glowing crown. I also want to grab a stone scoop potion. I'm going to sell flame to roll again, and have to grab this stamina sack. I'm going to sell our gloves. I'm going to sell these flames. And the garlic so we can grab it for now as well. But not any amethyst whatsoever. Unfortunately. The more we have of this, the better. But I am going to move on with this round. So we should be able to craft up a strong stone skin pot. Also, what the frick am I doing with this mana pot? It's not targeting this one. Yeah, that's on me. Moving a little bit too faster. Our opponent does have a hammer dagger type build. They're going to be inflicting a lot of debuffs on us, but can we actually keep up? We do take quite some time to actually scale up. We do get our vulnerability. And you know what? It's not looking too bad. That's for sure. Even though we do make a bit of a mistake with this for now. And almost made it even worse. Holy moly. That would have been terrible. Let's grab a protect fill purse so we can fill this little tiny gap. I'm not going to take a poison flask. I'm going to roll. I will take another stone just in case we come across another strong stone skin pot. Mana orb if you do want it. We could also grab this for an amethyst of alchemy. Amethyst feasting is exactly what we don't want actually. I'm going to roll again. I was trying to think we actually want here. Another health pot I don't actually want. I'm going to start amethyst feasting. I'm thinking about stunner stones here. And this too. And I want to grab the shield here. I want to grab the shield because I do want to craft up a sun shield here. Sun shield has been buffed awesome here. I'd also love to craft up a king's crown as well. Should we actually? For the final rounds, it does give us invulnerability for a little bit longer. It also protects our buffs. So I'm going to sell a banana. I'm going to sell a heat so we can grab this fanny pack for now. And yeah, I'm going to craft up that king's crown. But we're going to be moving on once again. Now, I'm super glad we did add in a shield to block some of this freaking daggers, which is going to be kind of nice overall. But can we actually keep up? We're stacking up our spikes. We're moving our buffs. We're moving a lot of getting damage. Now, they are breaking through our armor right now. But can we actually keep up? We do get our vulnerability just in time. Give us more time to scale up that freaking chin up and a katana and deal some big damage. Get into that fatigue, stacking up our crit chance as well. And amazing. So we got our king's crown. And we got ourselves that sun shield. I really wish this was a freaking vampiric armor. But it is what it is. And also, it's just a shame that we only got one little chipped amethyst here, unfortunately. But hey, that's the luck of backpack battle. I'm gonna roll. I'm going to grab this to remove a lot of debuffs if our opponent is stacking up. Again, coal is going to be pretty rough for us, but we do have a lot of burning coals. We try and counter that a little bit. And we can actually place them in our helmet. So we get, instead of 15 block, get about 22 block at the very beginning. We should be able to proc this straight away, get our mana a little bit easier as well. We're going to grab a protective purse. We could also grab a cap resilience as well. I'm not going to. Anything else we want here? Not exactly. I was thinking maybe we could try the lamp here, but we definitely cannot afford to do that. I'm going to grab this protective, I was going to say protective other person. I'm going to grab this potion bolts. Let's keep rolling for now. And I'm going to try get this. How can we actually get this? We could sell our potion bolts, these 3 flames, and these gemstones. And this blue gemstone together. You know what? I'm going to do that. As crazy as that is, that should be just enough. And that's going to be awesome. It's going to be a lot of heals for us. And it has the potential to be a lot of invulnerability as well. But hey, this is our final build. I buy the Holy Light, freaking chain up with some King's Crowns with the newly buffed Sun Armor as well, which does prevent 17 damage. It's going to be straight up nuts. If you run this with freaking shielded, that's going to be nuts. But the real thing about this build is the Artifact Stone deck give us crit chance on the Anvil. That's for sure. Otherwise, we need to run birds, we need to run stone armors, giving us more ways to remove buffs from our opponents. But hey, also finding more amethysts would have helped out quite a bit. Now we are going to begin a poison stacking type one, so selling that little chipped emeralds here actually does get rid of a lot of resistance of poison. Well, it's about 15%. But still quite noticeable. Now, can we actually keep up with this bonus? With our heavy drinking, we do have a chance to get more and more mana, but we'll see. We do cleanse. We do have a lot of poison stacked up on us. We're going to be taking a lot more damage as well. We really, really need this mana. We do get it just in time. We do get our vulnerability. And we do proc our mana pots so we can actually get our next go of invulnerability. And you know what? It's looking kind of awesome. Unless that poison bursts down right now. Amazing. Now we did only end up with a 47 DPS, even though we did have some crits. But our opponent did have shielded. Shielded with a spike shield. It's not moon shield or anything like that, but it's still going to be reducing a lot of our stamina and damage. Even though our stamina is 0.8 and 0.75. But as for heals, we did end up with 27 healing per second. With 8 max health gain per second. So heavy drinking mana pots for max health gain might not be the best plan. But it's still kind of awesome. As for block, we did end up with about 20 block per second, which is not insane by any means, but with the combination of heals and max health gain, we had an effective 60 HP per second, which is not terribly bad. With a lot of goals of vulnerability as well. But anyways, we did survive with 2 lives left. Let's go and see just how much rank points we managed to get. +9. Rank us up quite a bit actually. But anyways, I'm going to leave you here for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even subscribe. And I hope to keep looking for the next one. I'll see you next time. Okay, can we deal with a crazy looking hardwood flame up type build? They're going to have an insane amount of block from the get-go. They're going to be trying to lamp their flame up as well to deal some big damage. They're going to be stacking up a certain amount of heat. But they're going to have a ton of buffs that we can actually remove. And a lot of scaling damage. We get our vulnerability. Katana with the sun shield is going to be straight up nuts as well, bro. Actually, amazing 144 crit with that freaking chain up. Okay, can we take on a uniquely unique villain sword with dogs? Now, villain sword with the dogs is insanely awesome because these courage pups are counted as melee weapons. So you can get a lot of damage stacked up on this with 100% crit chance, dealing some big awesome damage, that's for sure. But we do block a lot of that damage with our sun shield. We do get our vulnerability, and I think the fight is over for sure. And finally, can we take on a crossblades with a bloody harvester? I mean, they're going to have an insane amount of vampirism, lots of heat stacking, lots of damage overall. But can we remove a lot of their scaling damage with a katana? Can we remove a lot of their buffs with a chin up? As we stack up a crit chance, hell yeah, this is looking awesome. We do get our vulnerability once again. And yeah, it's kind of looking super close. We do get a big old burst heal. And can we win out? Holy moly, that was way too close. but kind of awesome at the same time. We actually end up with a 93 DPS.